It's a choice some boaters dread, buying a boat built for speed or one built for luxury. One that comes with the thrill of danger or the comfort of home. Well, if you want both, there is a third option. This recreational sport boat. Building any boat begins with constructing its exterior or the hull. And in the case of most fiberglass boats, such as the Sun Deck, that means using a high-quality mold like this. Workers fill the mold with a liquid gel that hardens into the shape of the hull. Then they add additional materials such as fiberglass and foam beams for reinforcement. Finally, after the boat sets for a few hours, they lift the finished hull out of the mold. In other words, they build the hull from the outside in. Then, a forklift pushes it into the gel booth where two 750-pound robots await. The robotic sprayers glide back and forth for 20 minutes, covering the mold with a layer of gel. And not just any gel. It's vinyl ester resin, a chemical compound that quickly hardens into a durable waterproof plastic and becomes the boat's outer shell.
Why do we need robots doing this? What's the advantage they give us here?
More consistency on the spray pattern, better quality job.
They spray the upper edge of the hull or gunnel separately. It will be a different color than the rest of the boat. While these two robots are hard at work on the hull, two more keep busy with the boat's topside.
The deck is sprayed on our other set of robots right beside us here, and it goes through the same process.
This is what the deck looks like after the robots spray it with the same gel coat as the hull. Look carefully, and you'll notice the deck is upside down. Later, the deck will be popped out of the mold and flipped 180 degrees before being lowered into the hull. Now that the gel coat that forms the exterior of Sea Ray's Sun Deck speedboat is dried, they need to make the hull and deck stronger. Workers move them to the lamination area, where they use this gun to spray them with fiberglass. Here's how the lamination process works. First, workers thread the fiberglass, which is really just long, fine strands of glass, from a spool. The strands are pulled through a pulley system and into this gun.
This is a continuous mile-long strand of fiberglass. It hits this knife section here, gets chopped into little inch-long pieces. That injects into a stream of resin and hardener here. So the resin hardener and the fiberglass mixes out in the air and shoots off into the mold.
This combination of glass, fiber, and liquid resin called chop creates a strong and crack-resistant exterior. It's also lightweight, and the lighter the boat, the faster it'll go. As the gun sprays the chop onto the hull, workers press the material with rollers. This removes air from the mixture and creates a solid water-resistant layer. When they finish this lamination process, each hull and deck dries and hardens for an hour and a half. At this point, the hull of the boat is pretty strong, but it still needs to be reinforced from within to withstand the constant pounding from the water when cruising at speeds of up to 55 miles per hour. So workers install a series of foam beams. This material is as sturdy as wood, but it's almost 30% lighter. Now they coat them with a layer of fiberglass chop to bond the braces to the hull. The fiberglass cures for 90 minutes, and then workers gently remove the hull from its mold. And there you have it. We can finally see what the gel coat looks like from the outside. A closer look reveals two of the hull's key engineering features. First, notice the V-shaped bottom. This design reduces the amount of surface touching the water, cutting down on drag. This allows the boat to move faster and cut through the waves. The second visible element on the hull is these lifting strakes.
They're going to channel the water to provide lift to that hull. By getting it out of the water, the boat will be able to go a lot faster.
The strakes provide that lift by catching the water as it hits the front of the boat and deflecting it down and off to the side. This pushes the boat up to the top of the water, where it now glides on the strakes, much like a sled glides on its rails. Once the hull and deck are out of their molds, they're ready to be milled. In this finishing process, robots trim excess fiberglass and drill openings for the engine and fuel tank. These milling robots pivot on 5 axes, meaning they can move up, down, or any other direction they want. Computers guide them to 1/60,000th of an inch of design specifications as they trim the lip of the hull and cut this opening for the outdrive which supports the propeller. It used to take 2 people 45 minutes to complete this job. These robots do it all in less than 9 minutes. So in almost no time at all, the hull and deck are ready for their finishing touches.
This is assembly. This is where the boat actually all comes together. All the bells and whistles and everything is put together to make a whole, make one.
Workers outfit the deck and hull separately with their respective parts. First, a hoist lowers the high-performance 5-liter engine into position in the hull. Then, workers set in the 65-gallon fuel tank and position over 1,000 feet of electrical wires. Meanwhile, on the deck, workers install 5 waterproof speakers and 6 interior lights. Now it's time to marry the 2 halves. A worker lines the lip of the hull with a caulk-like sealant that will form a watertight seal between the deck and the hull. Then a hoist lowers the deck, and workers attach all the electrical wiring. Finally, the hoist lowers the deck completely, and workers secure it to the hull with 80 stainless steel screws. At the last stage of assembly, workers install the final parts: the windshield, seats, hatches, and those bells and whistles we all want, such as a wet bar, state-of-the-art stereo, and a bathroom. There's even a sun canopy.
So the boat's basically finished. It's been all assembled at this point?
At this point, this is where it comes into the final finish area, which is where we do the functional test to make sure all the electrical's working, the motor's working properly.
First, workers start and test the engine. Then they check for leaks and electrical problems. Finally, a worker examines the exterior with a bright light that reveals any imperfections in the finish. She marks these blemishes with a red wax pencil so they can be fixed on the spot.
So every boat goes through 7 or 8 hours of testing here.
Yes, we just make sure everything is perfect as it can be as it goes out.
But Sea Ray doesn't just test their boats in the factory. Every day, they take 6 of their 33 completed sport boats out on the nearby Tennessee River for a cruise on the open water. And after a few brief instructions from Captain Smokey, Marshall is ready to take the wheel.
Let's quit talking and let's get some RPMs on this thing.
All right, let's see what happens.
Okay?
This is what I've been talking about. Wow! This is awesome. I am getting me one of these.
In no time at all, Marshall is cruising at 46 miles an hour. The boat is virtually skimming over the top of the water.
That's why boating's so much fun. You feel it.